stones. I'm Zeb, and this is my first take at filming my aquascaping journey. So just a little bit about myself. I used to live in an apartment in town, and I just recently moved into a house. I bought a house, and I made sure that there was space to have my very own fish room. Now, I've been at this for, I would say, 2 years now, and I started out with just a 10-gallon top fin tank with some basic gravel, fake plants, some platies, and the light that came with the tank. And then I stumbled upon a YouTube video about aquascaping. And I've always been into nature since I was a kid. I got into forestry. So I've always enjoyed the outdoors and having a piece of nature in my own home. I think that's why I sort of got into it, or why I'm not surprised I got into it. But a month ago, I bought a camera in hopes to start filming or documenting this awesome hobby that we're all a part of. For me anyway, it takes my mind off maybe a bad day that I've had. It's almost like therapy to me, which I think is probably like that for a lot of you as well. So over the years I've been doing this, it's become very important to me that I take the time every week to come down to the fish room, look at the fish, look at the tanks, do maintenance, do water changes, and much like all of you, sit down and watch a YouTube video. Now, because I've loved those YouTube videos so much and I've got so much inspiration from them and all of that, I thought I would contribute to that network as well. So here we are. It's definitely weird talking to a camera and being on this side of it now, but I'm excited and I can't wait to show you guys the tanks that I've currently built and the tanks that I will build in the future. So I don't really know exactly what this channel will be yet. I think right now it will just be me documenting my tanks so that I can have record of them, because I look back now, I've been doing this for 2 years like I said, and I don't even have a picture really of any of the tanks that I've done. And I've done some really nice tanks over the past couple of years, so I figured now is the time. And yeah, so I think for this channel, at least starting out, beyond this introduction video and the little tour I'm going to give you later on, it'll likely be the odd maintenance video, the odd build video, and yeah, keep it simple. I have no intent of making this a part-time job, so to speak. So I will just do it when I feel like doing it, and hopefully someone out there enjoys the videos. I will go ahead and give you guys the grand tour of the place. I think you will like it. Okay, everyone. Welcome to the fish room. The Sticks and Stones first fish room. This is in the basement of the house that I just bought. And there's quite a bit of room in here. We've got enough room to have some... Don't mind my couches. It's a love-hate relationship. But lots of room. This is our little sitting area. And TV where I watch most of my YouTube videos for aquariums. We all spend hours doing that, I'm sure. I have all the tanks kind of lined up along the walls. What I'll do is go through each tank, and may as well start over here. So this beauty here is a Waterbox Clear Mini 15 or Clear Mini 20. Can't really remember, but anyways, it holds 15 gallons, and it's ultra clear glass, 91%. It's a neat little aquascape. It's not the best it's looked because all these tanks had to move recently, so the setups are somewhat janky. This is Peter. He's kind of the mascot of the whole operation. I've had him for, over 2 years now. So he's come with me in the move, and I'm happy to have him back in a tank. And yeah, this is the setup he's in. I kind of set this one up pretty quickly in about an hour or so. Just has, it's like an uwagumi setup with Siriu stone and just a layer of aqua soil. Tons of plants, Monte Carlo, Pagosman, Helfera, I think that's how you pronounce it. Lobelia cardinalis. That's this plant over here, one of my favorites. Yeah, running CO2 on this. And I've got a Chihiro's. It's not the WRG. Oh, the WRGB Slim is on this one. And I used to have a Waze Filto Smart 100, but I replaced that just with the Seachem Title, I think 75, just because I thought for this size of tank, the Filto Smart 100 was a little overkill, and it was creating a little too much current for Peter, so we swapped it out. And these other little guys in here are Ember Tetras. I got these guys about 6 months ago. They've been really awesome. Really good colors. They look really awesome under the Chihiro's light. All my tanks have a bit of algae. I've tried my best to mitigate it, get rid of it. I have just become comfortable with having some algae in my tanks, so and that's okay. I think stressing about algae is sort of a waste of time, so it's all part of the ecosystem. You do the best you can. So yeah, for the CO2 system, it's just an F zone, kind of a DIY setup where you add in the baking soda and citric acid in a certain quantity and mix it with water, and then the pressure builds. You put on the pressure valve, and it builds pressure, and then you get CO2. I've got CO2 on this tank and 2 other tanks that I'll be showing you in this video as well. So as far as the stand goes, you'll notice this in my fish room. A lot of the stands that I have aren't your traditional aquarium stands. I source out vintage or antique, rustic stands. This one here is an old, like, metal work shelf from the 50s, I believe. And it's very sturdy, holds the tank very well. And you know what? I think that having interesting pieces like this a part of your aquascape are cool. So, yeah, that's why we have that. Okay, let's continue the tour here. So this tank is, I think it's called an ice cube tank or ice box tank, and it's 7 gallons. I've had this setup going for about a year now, and in this tank I have Celestial Pearl Danios. I'll see if they'll come out here. You can see them. There's only 4 in here. I used to have 6, but I did lose a few, unfortunately. I did get them to breed for me a couple of times, but I found that the fry were not easy to take care of. Maybe that's just my inexperience talking, but maybe at some point I can get them to breed again. But yeah, all this setup is a kind of like a log. I think it's called honeycomb wood or something. But basically I just glued a bunch of Anubias, and there's Crypts. Not sure what species it is. Maybe Cryptocorn Wendii brown. I think that's Cryptocorn flamingo. Always struggled to grow this plant. I don't know why. It's just a problem plant, but here it sits. And yeah, all I have running for filtration are 2 Nicrew kind of mini hang on the back filters. They're pretty good. They do the job. And for a light, I'm trying the Lomini Asta 60 or 20. And you know what? I gotta say, it's a pretty impressive light. So impressive that I ended up buying 2 more for the new build over here, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, it's done really well. Somewhat of a low light tank. Algae is pretty minimal, which is nice. Also, the shrimp population exploded in here. I don't know what happened since the move. These guys have exploded. There, it's a better shot of these guys. Yeah. The substrate in this tank is kind of interesting. I actually went to a local stream and I collected substrate from it and washed it and used that as the substrate. I think I used a bit of aqua soil underneath of it at the back, but I think that's it. And it's been running for a year, no CO2. At this point, I don't really do water changes. I just top the water off. And yeah, it's been a good tank. No complaints from that one. This one's sitting on just an antique blanket box, I think is what it's called. Pretty neat. Got it for $50. Can't go wrong with that. So over here, this is the new tank. This is a water box Clear Mini 30, I believe. It's 31 gallons. And the plan with this setup, I don't really have a full plan yet, but what I want to do is something similar to a biotope or biotope inspired. But I want it to be all plants from the Americas. So South American plants, some North American plants, and all the hardscape, sand, and most of the substrate will be collected from outside. I think I have most of the pieces for it already, other than some rock, but I'm looking forward to it. Stay tuned. I'm going to try and film that as best as I can. Like I said, this is my very first time filming anything, really. So, and I'm sure it will come as no shock to you, as this video will probably be low quality compared to most of the ones that you see on a daily basis. So, bear with me. I'm doing the best I can. So yeah, like I said, for this tank, I've got the Lomini Asta 20s on top, 2 of them, and they're pretty bright. I'll see if I can turn the lights on for you. So they're pretty bright. Awesome colors in them. They're adjustable, both the color spectrum and brightness. So I think they will work really well. Hopefully give a nice shimmer on top of the tank. So yeah, stay tuned for that build. Now, the stands for this tank and for this tank, which I'll show you in a second, are the same. They're the same shelving unit or workbench, I guess, but they were made, I believe, in the 60s. Must have been used in some sort of like mechanic shop or fabrication shop. Anyways, super cool, nicely patinaed. All I did was put I think it's like an antique oil on them. And they're super sturdy. It's like angle iron for the legs. All metal. So you can put a lot of trust in these bad boys. So anyways, this one's sitting on the same type of stand. They're slightly different. This one's got like a different cabinet on the bottom. This one's got just the drawer, but I love them. And again, I think having stands that aren't your typical stands just adds an interesting element. So this tank, geez, I've had this tank for not quite a year. I think maybe 8 months. And I bought this tank as a graduation gift to myself for graduating university. And it is a Landon. It is a Landon 90P, which is about 48 gallons, I think. And this setup, well, this this setup, it's similar to the one I had before. So what happened is all these tanks had to be taken down and moved to the house. But for this tank, I had to tear it completely apart, substrate and everything out. And I tried to put it back together as similar as possible. Obviously, you can't do it the same twice, but this is pretty much what it looked like before it left my apartment. And it is my all-time favorite tank. I've got plans to sort of spice it up a little bit. Right now, it's not looking the greatest. I kind of just threw the plants in there really quickly and set it up within a couple of hours just so that the fish weren't too stressed out with the move. But all it is 2 hardwood stumps and I think just some rock that I collected on a beach, like some river pebbles. And the substrate is 80A Amazonia, and it's in media bags. Kind of the MD fish tanks method of putting substrate in. And it seemed to work really well, and the reason why I did that is because I have these awesome guys here, the crebensis. I love these guys. I specifically built this tank for them, and they've bred for me numerous times now, and I love them. I think they're one of the coolest fish that a freshwater Aquarius could have. But the reason why I did the substrate the way I did is because they like to dig. So I don't know if you can see at the back there, they've kind of dug up some of the substrate. You can see some of the lava rock and stuff all dug up. But also have these 2 electric blue acaras, another one of my favorite fish. I got them when they were babies, and I put them in here somewhat temporarily in hopes that maybe I could give them a new home at some point, only because I know they'll probably outgrow this tank. Maybe not. I've heard different opinions based on what size of tanks these fish can be in. I've heard that they could even be in a 30-gallon as long as there's lots of swim room. But I don't know. I'd hate to get rid of them, but also at the same time, if they need more swim room, then they need a bigger tank, and I just don't have the stands that are big enough to support a tank any bigger really than this 48-gallon tank. So here they reside for now anyway. They seem very happy. They're very healthy. And what I love about them is they always greet you when you approach the tank. My favorite thing about them. As far as other fish in this tank, here's some baby. That's a baby crebensis there. I think she was born about 5 months ago, 6 months ago now. There's another one down here. But as far as the other fish in the tank, just some red-eye tetras, one of the classic aquarium fish that you can get. Awesome schooling fish. Pretty simple looking fish too, but what's nice is they have these red eyes that pop off of their silver scales. I think they're simple but spectacular at the same time. And of course you gotta have autosinkless. They're in here somewhere. There's a few at the back. Eating some algae. Oh, they always want to get in the picture, these guys. That's okay. And I've also got 3 lonely cardinals. They were a batch that I got a couple years ago, and they just slowly died off, and these are the 3 that I'm left with. And they're happy. So as far as plants, we got mostly crypts in here, a bunch of different species. Cryptocorn spiralis is some of the longer stuff. There's also some coontail, which I collected from a shoreline from one of the freshwater lakes around. And there's not a tiger lotus, maybe a nymphale lotus, I think. And there's also some bucephalandra in this tank. It's not doing so well in this tank. I'm not really sure why. I tried to plant them in the more dark areas, but they just don't seem to be taking well in this tank. I think I didn't mention over here that I also had bucephalandra, but it does a lot better, it seems, in extremely low light. So yeah, they're really nice in this tank, but But this is the Pride and Joy tank right now. One of the coolest features of this one is the fern that I have growing on top of the stump. I basically went to a plant store and bought this fern, and I placed it in a small pot at the back. And over time, the rhizomes from the fern grabbed on and started sending out new plants. You can see one right there. All the way around the stump, you can see new plants coming out. Some older ones there, but originally this fern was a quarter of the size it is now. So, and it's just sucking nitrate to the water, which is awesome, helping with the filtration. And the lighting on this one, a little more expensive. This is the Chihiro's WRGB2 Pro. Awesome light. I got the hanging kit from Chihiro's as well not too long ago. And nothing but good things to say about these lights, especially the colors that it gives off. And filtration on this is the Awaze Biomaster 650, I think. I've had it on this tank since I got it. It's been an amazing filter. And I've always been a huge fan of Awaze, so much so that I bought another one for not the 650, but the 250 for this tank. So when I build that, I will be installing that on as well. And for both of these tanks here, I've got a 5 pound or 5 kilogram CO2 system with a CO2 art dual stage regulator. And this has also been an extremely reliable product. I don't think I will go to any other brand for a regulator at this point. But yeah, those are the 3 or 4 main tanks. And then over here, this is just, this is the original top fin 10 gallon that I got 2.5, 3 years ago when I first started out in the fish hobby. So it's been tough to think about getting rid of it, which I might have to at some point, but for now, it's my plant storage tank. So I've got some Sagittaria subulata in here for the North American, South American style tank. Limnophila sessiflora, some Rotala blood red in here, some more of the Lobelia cardinalis, Marsilea. You know what? It's a top fin tank, but it was my first tank, and it has never let me down. And I know I'm still proud to have it. All I'm running on this for a light is just a Higer. I can't remember what it is, but it's just like a clip on the back light. Great little light for a lower light level tank. Yeah, no complaints for that one. And then just running a top fin internal filter on that one. And then last but not least, this is the Landon Cube. I think it's 6.6 gallons. I've had this one set up for quite a long time now. And the reason why it looks neglected is because while it kind of has been since the move and everything, I've sort of left it, just been topping the water up, haven't really done much maintenance to it. But I do have a plan to redo this and make a better scape out of it. But all that's in here are a bunch of shrimp, different colors of shrimp, red, yellow, blue. There's some clear ones in there that just, I guess, come from different colors breeding, different colored shrimp breeding with each other. So, but that's totally fine with me. I love shrimp. So, and the light on here, all I have is a Fluval Nano light, and it's been good as well. So that, my friends, is the fish room. I'm so pumped to get going on this tank here, and I'm going to try like I said before, I'm going to try my best to film it and document it and edit it, but I'm making no promises because I don't know how good it's going to be. So, yeah, I'd appreciate it if you just cut me some slack and put up with the horrible filmmaking for now. I will try my best to get better, but it's all part of the process, so that's okay. Go back and take one last look at Peter here because he's looking real good right now. Hey, bud. The face of Sticks and Stones. Awesome. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning into the tour of the new Sticks and Stones, or not that new, I guess the start of Sticks and Stones aquascaping. Super excited to start this journey, like I said earlier, and I can't wait to see how it develops. So anyways, we'll see you guys on the next video.